Welcome to the show, guys. We are talking about three quarterbacks I love for fantasy football 2022. Continuing with this little mini series I've got going here. I had three wide receivers I love and three running backs I love. I'm continuing on with three quarterbacks I love for fantasy football 2022, guys. And if you haven't seen those videos, go back and check it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys click subscribe. And I've also linked below here on YouTube. If you're in the car, just head on over to YouTube. The Impact series, guys, where I'm actually bringing in beat writers from every single team, breaking down the team outlooks direct from the source, guys. This is the best information you can get. No fantasy analyst has this type of, information because I'm a purple belt, when it comes to knowing about a team. These are actual black belts, and I always give the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu analogy to it, right? So Impact series, guys, check it out. Go back a couple videos, start diving into them. I've had the Colts guy, the Bills guy, Jacksonville, the Cowboys guy, to breaking down Pollard and Zeke, and I've got more interviews coming, okay? Amazing, guys. Impact series, I've linked it here below, or head on over to YouTube if you're in the car and check out those videos, all right? Or even if that's on Spotify as well if you want the audio version and iTunes and stuff like that, all right? So let's talk about the three quarterbacks that I love for fantasy football 2022, all right? Now, guys, with quarterbacks, it's very, very simple for me. I like to get guys that are proven, guys that I know are consistent. With quarterbacks, I talk about this. I'm going to give you guys a couple of fantasy football draft strategies here. With quarterbacks, you're able to spot trends and see things kind of before they happen and anticipate, okay? For me, I saw, Pat Mahomes the year he broke out. I told you in 16-round draft solution, get Pat Mahomes in 10th round. With guys like Josh Allen, people had Baker Mayfield ahead of Josh Allen. I'm like, dude, Allen's better. And I was getting Allen round 8 or 9. Now Allen's expensive. I may not pay that price. So who is the next quarterback? Listen, it's not about that right now. It's about getting an ace quarterback, and I'm going to give you three I love here, okay? In 16 rounds, I give you all the secrets in there. So if you haven't gotten 16 rounds, get the 16-round draft solution, guys, thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Use code TUBE20. Save yourself 20%. This is the game changer. It'll put you guys light years ahead of the competition. Now, I did get quick story time here. I did a promo video for 16 rounds. I was out in the field, shot some B-roll. If you're not following on Instagram, go do that. Shot some B-roll for the 16-round draft solution, and I'm hitting these pads on a field, and I didn't want to hit them I didn't want to smash my shoulder. Obviously, I know I can hit the pads hard, so I put the B-roll on Instagram as a reel, and everyone's like, oh, you should have hit it harder. I'm like, I know I should have hit the pads harder. Guys, it was just a little quick promo video, B-roll I shot. Relax. That video is coming out very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm getting somebody to edit it, my team there. But, guys, I'm super excited about the season, and I had to create a video to really hype up 60 rounds to show you guys the benefits of it if you guys haven't got it, and throw in some testimonials in there as well. So I was out there on a field shooting some B-roll, had some fun, and people laughing at how hard I hit the pads. It was actually kind of funny, too. I should have hit it harder. I know. All right, first quarterback I love here. All right, first quarterback. Now, I like the value of this guy last year a lot better. The guy I'm talking about is Justin Herbert, okay, sitting second on the consensus on the Conchichas rankings. In a one-quarterback league, I just did an expert draft, guys. I ended up getting Uncle Herbert, okay, in the 5th round. Now, if you can get Justin Herbert in the 5th round, that's value. Am I paying a 2nd-round pick? No. Am I paying a 3rd-round pick? No. Now, if you're in a 2-quarterback league, he's going to come off most likely in the 1st round. Now, typically, I've done a ton of 2-quarterback leagues or super flexes. If you don't know what a super flex is, when you put in a quarterback as a potential flex spot and you can start up to 2 quarterbacks. As a rule of thumb, guys, I try to get a running back still in the 1st round, and then I get the best available quarterback in the 2nd round because they come off really fast in a 2-quarterback league, all right? So I still try to anchor my team with an ace quarterback. There's a ton of depth at quarterback this year. There really is. Guys like, which we'll talk about, later on, guys like Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, pretty decent value, right? So you don't have to spend a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a Mahomes or Herbert. But like I said, the guy I love is Justin Herbert because I arguably think he's the best quarterback in the league. He's put on some weight, muscle-wise that is, and he looks stronger. Similar offenses he had last year, he's only going to get better, okay? There isn't any drastic changes, whereas you look at other teams, so many changes, right? It's like Justin Fields. Is he going to get in the groove? New head coach. Like, that's a pretty big change. Deshaun Watson, if he doesn't get, by the way, latest news, there's more allegations on him. It's crazy. We don't know what's going to happen with Watson, suspension. We don't know. But Watson's on an entirely new team. big risk, right? You got so many other situations where, Tua, is he going to be in the groove? Even, he's got Tyreek Hill. That's a new situation to some degree, right? A lot of these guys, new situations, new offenses, new wide receivers, different. They're in their second year of developing. Whereas Herbert, I just know that I've got a solid guy out of him. And, 5th round, that's a steal. If you get him 4th, maybe. 3rd, a little too expensive, okay? So Pat Mahomes, again, and Justin Herbert are coming off 2nd, 3rd round. I like Justin Herbert a little bit better. I think Pat Mahomes has hit his stride. You go back a couple years ago, he had that 50 touchdown season. It's like, I really think Pat Mahomes hit his stride. I think, I think he's going to have some other good years, but I think Herbert still has more of a ceiling, okay? And Mahomes lost his biggest playmaker in Tyreek Hill, so that's something to really think about as well. All right, so Justin Herbert is the first quarterback I love. 5th or 4th round value in a 1-quarterback league, solid. Second quarterback I love this season, and he can start for you guys, and he's immense value, sitting 10th on the consensus. I see him sliding up, but I can get him as late as the 8th round in a 12-person, 1-quarterback league. I've seen him fall as late as the 8th, probably as early as the 5th or 6th if you really want him. I would say 7th is kind of that perfect spot for him, 6th to 7th round for Russell Wilson. I absolutely love him this year. And I keep talking about this, and I keep talking about this. And some people are like, well, Joe, sometimes you give us the same opinion. There's certain guys you ride, and you talk about them the entire offseason. It's like, well, if I believe in somebody, I'm not going to go switch it up. I'm not going to go say, hey, go draft Derek Carr now. I love him all of a sudden because of Devontae Adams. Not going to say that, right? I still think Derek Carr is Derek Carr. I don't care who he's throwing the ball to, right? So I look at a guy like Russell Wilson. I'm seeing immense value. I see a good receiving core with Judy and Sutton. Mind you, they were dancing and acting like 12-year-olds. But hey, I think it was a photo shoot. I still think they'll be okay. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw that story time with the counselor, but again, if you didn't hear it, Jerry Jeudy came back, DM'd me and says, hey man, he's still hating on me, blah, blah, blah. But you DM me because I wanted to get him on my show like a year ago when he was a rookie. And then he saw that DM after I talked smack about him on Instagram for dancing and not focusing on football. So Jerry Jeudy ends up DMing me saying, oh yeah, you want me on your show, but you'll talk smack. I'm like, well, yeah, I messaged you like a year ago. Thanks. Anyway, Jeudy, I think he'll be good. Now he's only had 3 touchdowns in the past 2 seasons. He's not a touchdown guy, and he's had his share of injuries and bad quarterbacks. So he hasn't really gotten going. Sutton's a little more settled in, a little more developed, but it's kind of weird. When you look at it, you're almost looking at here's a funny thing. You're looking at like a Metcalf and Lockett type situation when you're looking at these receivers. Now with Russell now in Denver, you got a Sutton and Jeudy, and these guys are undervalued. So you're talking wide receiver sleepers. You got yourself Sutton or Jeudy. And the biggest question I get asked, and we're going to have the Denver Broncos guy, again, Impact Series guys. I'm doing the Impact Series, bringing in the experts. I'm going to ask the Broncos, beat writer, who is going to be the one. He's probably going to give you the same answer. He doesn't know. So I think I'm leaning a little bit towards Sutton overall, finishing with more points, but I definitely see, Jeudy potentially being a PPR monster. Bottom line is, we're going back to quarterback talk here. Russell Wilson's in a prime position to succeed. Bottom line. And again, he's going to reignite his career with the Broncos and have a phenomenal year. And he obviously getting paid big bucks, right? He wants to get, I don't know if this happened yet at the time of this recording, $50 million a year is what he wants for a 5-year, $250 million deal. So Russell Wilson has got to perform. Broncos believe in him. He's still got 4 or 5 years of solid performance out of him easily. Still great talent, veteran, good offense, good team, good weapons around him. I'm super excited about Russell Wilson this year, guys, all right? Love him, and I love the value. I can get him in the 6th, 7th round, all right? And the third guy I love here, guys, and again, he's totally under the radar, and you can get him as a backup. And again, we're talking quarterback strategy here. In a 1-quarterback league, you always have to have 2 quarterbacks. In a 2-quarterback league, you always have to have 3 quarterbacks. Why? Very simple. Backup. You need a backup for bye weeks. You need a backup for potential lack of performance. Now, if you draft an ace quarterback like a Herbert or Wilson, you should be still safe, but you got to cover yourself. So bye week, potential regression in points or lack of performance per se, and potential injury. So you always got to cover yourself. And again, I keep going back to this story. I haven't said it this year yet, but I've said it years before. I was in a 2-quarterback league, right? This is a true story. We had like 8 to 10 bench spots. And I like having a lot of bench spots. I don't think I was the commissioner of that league, but I like to have a lot of bench spots because I know who the sleepers are. I like to stash as many of those sleepers as I can. But I was in a 2-quarterback league. I had 2 quarterbacks. And this is like, I don't know, 5-10 years. I can't even remember how long. But I just remember this clear as day what happened, though. So I have 2 quarterbacks, okay? And it was basically my bye week. And then I got better as the years went. You have to be aware of who's available on the waiver wire and free agency, right? You always got to have a backup plan for a backup plan. This is what helped me get 16 rounds. Again, this is before I created 16 rounds. And that's how you learn these tricks to develop that bulletproof roster. So I got my 2 quarterbacks this bye week. I go and try to get a quarterback on my bye week, and it was a week I really need to win. And sure enough, there's no quarterbacks. I'm like, okay, wait, there's 12 people in this league, right? They've all got 2 quarterbacks. So there's 24. A lot of these guys have backups, but one particular dude was hoarding 4 quarterbacks that were viable starters, or even like, even in some timeshare quarterbacks, right? But bottom line is, when I went to look at free agency, there was no quarterback. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's stupid. Like, how am I going to start? Like, I had to start 1 quarterback, and it was a 2 quarterback start league, right? It was like, so I had to leave a void that week, and I ended up losing the week. So the point I'm trying to make is, always have 3 quarterbacks in a 2 quarterback league. Always have a backup. Always have that depth at quarterback where you can reach in and be good without having to rely on putting in an FAAB bid, free agency acquisition budget bid, or a waiver wire request to get that quarterback. You always have to have a backup plan for a backup plan, all right? So going to my 3rd quarterback here is Matt Ryan. Now, Matt Ryan, again, as a backup quarterback with massive upside, you're looking at Pittman taking a huge leap this year as a wide receiver 1. You got Alec Pierce there. They've got, decent tight ends there with Mo Alley Cox. Listen, I'm excited about this offense this year. They've got Jonathan Taylor there. They've got a great O-line. Matt Ryan throws pretty much more than anybody else in the entire league. They brought in there's a big beast of a tight end, Jelani Woods. Paris Campbell, he can't stay healthy, but he might be a factor. Now, I did a video on this. I brought the guy, Impact Series below, talk to the Colts guy right there. I had him, the expert, right on the show. I'm excited about this offense. I mean, Matt Ryan is going to sling that ball. He's going to be getting it out there. He's going to be throwing a lot. I'm excited. I'm expecting a 40 touchdown season out of Matt Ryan, maybe 12 interceptions type thing, right? I'm expecting over 4,500 yards. I'm expecting a massive season out of Matt Ryan. And again, backup quarterback with top 5 potential. All right, so that's it. The value is what I love about Matt Ryan and the opportunity for him to succeed. So there you have it, guys. Justin Fields. Take that back. Herbert, Wilson, Ryan. Love them. I just love the value of all 3 of them. I think they're great value. Now, there's tons of other quarterbacks to get. More of that in the 16-round draft. So you can use code 220. Get it right now and crush your leagues, guys. Thanks for being here. Subscribe. I'm out, and check out that Impact Series, guys. You're getting direct access to these experts on breaking down the team for fantasy football. Great value for you guys. Linked it below. All right, subscribe, thumbs up. We'll talk soon. I am out.